gas just poured everywhere.
Hello?
Hello, you want to watch me kick this over? Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Ashton. This is Lady Motobang. I'm working on my 1963 Honda CL72 Scrambler that I have done a top-end rebuild on. A couple episodes ago, got her kicked over. She was popping and banging, but I can't get her to idle until I swap these carbs out. So I've got a newer set of carbs that somebody gave me, and we're gonna get them on today, and hopefully she's gonna be purring like a kitten, so stay tuned. Okay, so in a nutshell, I don't need to be doing this, but I have to do it. So what I need really is the correct throttle slide for this left side carb. They are side specific. The slides are side specific. I have two right side slides, so the one for the left carb had to go in backwards. The slides are tapered. You can see that taper? That's supposed to be on the intake side, so when the throttle's completely closed, there's still like a tiny gap so air can come into the carb and it'll still run even though you don't have the throttle open. This groove here is for the idle screw, which is on the outside of the carbs. Basically, the only way this will fit into the carb is where that idle screw is. Therefore, because the idle screw is on the outside of the carb, I had to turn it around backwards to get it to sit in there. So when the throttle's closed on this carb, it's basically completely flat, and it'll choke that carb out. So can't do that. Once I get these carbs off, I'm going to show you some of the differences between these carbs. So for those of you who are new to this build or don't know about these early Hondas, they came in 250 and 305. The CL72, which is what the serial number on the crankcase and the frame are, those were stock 250 engines. But somebody has put a CL77 top end on here, and then they fit it with a bore out kit. So it's got 3 over pistons in here. So it's actually, the CC's, it's more than a 305, but they did put the bigger carbs on here. The replacement carbs that I have are for a later model CL77. So they're still the right size, but they changed the carb design a little bit. So they'll still work. I will say I am pretty happy to just replace the carbs because I was having issues with the air mixture screw seating properly in one of these for some reason. All right. So real quick, I don't want to bore you guys, but here's my old carb. Here's the new carb. So the biggest difference in these is the float bowl size. This is oval, and this one is basically a square. Also, I've got a float bowl drain, which is going to be awesome. So I've already rebuilt these, and I checked. My rebuild kit will fit just fine in this. So the only thing I was really worried about was the gaskets. I actually had some gaskets lying around that would fit these new carbs, which I only found after I ordered a new set. So I'm going to have even more lying around. Also, real quick, please don't go away. I'll show you what I was talking about with the slide real quick. All right. So here's my throttle slide. There's kind of a little guide pin inside the throttle tube in here that this has to go down, plus this grooved portion for the idle mixture screw. So basically when you can see it's like tapered, when you screw that mixture screw in, it can raise this up and down. Then of course you've got your tapered edge for the intake, and then here's the exhaust side. So here's my idle mixture screw. You can barely see in there. That little shiny bit, that is this like where this goes. It keeps that in there straight. And then there's the back of that idle mixture screw. So this can only go in, not this way. It can't go in this way, or it won't go down all the way. It has to go in this way. And it goes in just fine. Here's the intake side. This is all the way down, and I've got this little gap from that taper in the back. So it's not, when it's completely shut, it can still get some air in there and it doesn't kill the engine. Basically doesn't become its own choke. I did find something interesting with these while I was looking at them preliminarily. You see that stuff in there? I thought that was like gas varnish. Then I took a peek in here. See that bubbly stuff? That's like some kind of JB weld. This is where the choke plate goes up and down. And it's been completely sealed off. So I won't be putting the choke back on here. It's probably going to start up just fine without the choke, I hope. But if it doesn't, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that out of there. So, oh well. And then you can see right here, it denotes it's the larger carbs, the 26 mil carbs. So I've got the old carbs off. It's my other new to me one. Got these bad boys off. Time to put these in the ultrasonic cleaner that I can't get to heat up. And we're just going to hope for the best. Dang, that's super clean. Holy crap. That looks awesome. Just check this out. I won't even wash this. Maybe one less thing to wash. That's pretty good. All right, we'll keep that one. Won't worry about that. This looks pretty good, but I'm going to throw it in the parts washer anyway. No holes. I don't hear any gas in there. All right, I'm going to let that set, get everything in the parts cleaner, and then we'll skip all the other boring stuff, and I'll get back to you when I'm putting the carbs back on. Carbs are on. Gas can, got it up here, and I think we're ready to go. I've adjusted the slides. The slides are moving. They're synchronized. I've got my idle screws out all the way. Apparently this is supposed to idle at about 800 RPM when it gets warm, but I don't have a tachometer. And I can't sync the carbs with a vacuum because I don't have a vacuum port on these carbs. So anyway, it's about to get real cold in here because I got to open the door if I start idling. But I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll see how it goes. So hopefully there's nothing catastrophic happens letting it idle for a little bit. Before I was just, kicking it over, letting the gas run through the carbs and it would die, and I'd give it a little bit more. And now I've got the throttle and pretty good amount of gas hooked up here. So here we go. There's nothing to it but to do it. All right, gas. Turn the gas on, and gas just poured everywhere. All right, fix the gas leak. I put the little banjo nut thing for the fuel line. I put the ones from the old carbs on here, and I guess it just wasn't a perfect fit.
Hello?
Hello, you wanna watch me kick this over?
Yeah.
Recording, but I just had a massive gas leak, but
Yes,
oh,
it's
actually open that up because if it's got a bunch of exhaust. Here, come in.
Stinky. You smell like gas now.
Ready?
Yeah. Go.
Whoa, what was that? It's only kicking back. Something's wrong.
Okay, it's not ready.
Okay.
Keep working hard.
I will.
Don't explode.
That was not as easy to start as it was last time. I don't know if that sounded right. I'm not sure. And it's definitely like immediately was smoking or something. But it might be just, I bet it's exhaust because I couldn't get the exhaust collars. They're not supposed to be like flush, but I couldn't really tighten the heads down like all the way, like as far as I would like to. So that's probably where that's coming from. And I can definitely hear the inside of this. It's not like a clang bang, it's just more just, you know, I mean, I can just basically hear everything kind of rotating on the inside. So, I don't know. I'm gonna run it again, see if I can get it started up again. Yeah, that's definitely exhaust coming out of the headers, or the heads. Hope everything's good. Like, I don't know, man. I don't really know how to know if what's going on in here's, you know, not something catastrophic happening. I don't really know. I have to take the spark plugs out and check and make sure everything's good in the cylinder. Okay, we're gonna run it one more time. I just want to give it more gas so it'll run a little bit higher. Guess I could maybe adjust these idle screws just a little bit. Definitely smoking. All right. All right, so no mic. Not putting it back on. Well, I felt the pipes, and you can see in the video I've got a lot of exhaust coming out of this bottom pipe, but can't really tell if I'm getting a lot out of this top one, and I can feel it, and it is cold. So I don't know if that's a carb issue. I would hope it has to be a carb issue. It's really, it doesn't, like, this is still residual, nice and warm. I don't really think this one was running as well as the left cylinder here. So I don't know what to do other than mess with the carb, but I just rebuilt it, so I didn't have the mind to stick my hand back here and feel what was going on with this top one. But I don't know, there was a lot of exhaust coming from just the front of the pipes here, because I think that I wasn't able to get these collars seated down as far as I wanted without bending the collar or stripping out the exhaust mount stud. I definitely would like for these to be seated down further. So I guess there was a little exhaust leak in the front, not to mention once it started getting warmer, some of my oil and gas was burning off. I mean, it feels warm on this side, just not really through the pipe. So I don't know. I really don't know, guys. I've already got this back on the charger. I was kicking it quite a bit this time. I don't know why it was so much, took so much more effort this time to start it than it did last time. It started so easily last time, but you know, I really don't know. I really don't know. Tell me what you guys think. It's so loud because these don't have any baffles or anything. This is straight pipe, so it sounds gnarly. It sounds cool. I'm firing somewhat on this cylinder, but I mean, this is all getting cool again. I can't even tell. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. You know, you're not here with me, so it was definitely getting hard to kick over. Every fourth kick was easy, and then it was kind of not liking the first three kicks. It's like I couldn't get it going all the way, so that made me a little bit nervous. If it was just, you know, a compression thing, then that's fine, but I haven't had many kickstart only bikes, so the kick starting and everything with the Kickstarter not feeling great for 3 out of the 4. I don't know if that's normal. I'll look it up, but if somebody wants to let me know in the comments and save me the trouble, that'd be great. I need to get it really idling on its own, and that's just going to be fine-tuning the carbs a little bit more. It's a lot, so I don't know. I'll look into it. Thanks for making it this far in the video. I appreciate all my subscribers. If you want to be a new subscriber, that would be awesome. It's not really a big deal just to click the subscribe button. I would appreciate that. Like I always say, you don't have to subscribe, but
it'd be a lot cooler if you did.